Hi there, so this is YJ. I'm just doing up a quick video on how to move off of Lovable entirely. This is going to mean that you're going to move your code off of Lovable, you're going to move your hosting off of Lovable, and essentially you're just going to disconnect from Lovable, although there is a chance that you can still continue working on Lovable. So one of the key things you need to do is you need to sign up for a GitHub account. So it might look like this for you when you are going to github.com, and you can just sign up for an account. It's free. This is what we call a code repository, and this is where you can host your code. So that's the first thing you want to do. You want to find some place to host your code. All right. So once you are in Lovable, first you have to find a project that you are the admin of. So one of the things that we covered in class was how to move your project away from the IMDA VIBE workspace into your personal workspace. So once you have that, then you are the admin of your personal workspace. And what you can do is you can go to the three dots over here, go to the settings, and then down here, you can see there is a way for you to transfer the project. So transfer, and I will transfer it, for example, to Vibe. So once you do that, you should be an admin of that workspace. Okay. So since I'm the admin of the IMDA VIBE workspace, I can just do it from this particular project. All right. So one thing you need to do is, let's say you're in the project, so click into your project. Up here in the top right-hand corner, there is a button that says sync your project to GitHub. All right, so this is my, one of my Portupang chat apps. So I'm going to sync the project to GitHub. I'm going to click on this. All right, it's going to say connect GitHub. So you can only do this as an admin for that organization. So I'm just going to do that real quick. I am already connected, which is, all right, so there you go. Just going to turn on my one over here. Okay. And turn off this one, press connect. And now I'm just going to transfer this. Okay, your project will now live in GitHub and must remain there to keep syncing with Lovable. That means you can keep making changes in Lovable and they will show up in GitHub. Okay, so there you go. Right, so it's done. You can click on view on GitHub. And now you can see that all the code has shown up inside here. Okay, so your entire project is now on GitHub. So this means that you can do anything you want with this. You can send this off to other people. All right, there are settings over here which actually allow you to set it to be a public repository. If I scroll down here, this is currently private. I can change visibility, change it to public. All right, I want to make it public. And what this means is that other people can actually look at this repository and do stuff. Okay, so I'm not going to make it public for now, but it is an option. If you don't want to make it public, you can add collaborators and things like that. Right? I'm not going to do that right now as well. Okay, but the important thing is now this is on another site under your control. And unlike Lovable, Lovable is a bit of a startup. GitHub is probably going to be around for a while. It is owned by Microsoft, and there is no reason to believe that they will go away anytime soon. It's really one of the world's most used coding websites out there. So now you have your code on GitHub. This opens up a bunch of possibilities. You can actually continue working on your project within Lovable, and the changes will be synced over to GitHub. So I think that's something that might be useful for some of you. And from here, you can even make changes here, right? And if you learn how to use Git and GitHub, you can actually go ahead and sync them back to Lovable. So I have poly students who like to do this. They are on the free Lovable plan. So they get 5 prompts a day, 30 prompts a month, and they just do a bit of work on Lovable. It syncs over to GitHub. They continue coding manually, and then it syncs back. And this is how they, get a whole bunch of stuff done. So that is moving the code away from Lovable. The next thing you want to do is you probably want to think about moving your hosting off of Lovable. Right now, if I press publish, okay, it's got this stoutspeak.lovable.app, and I can open it. And this works perfectly fine, okay? But the problem here is that it might not stick around. Right now, Lovable is hosting all this for free. We don't know how long they will continue hosting this. Right? So what if Lovable itself shuts down? We don't know. They're a startup, right? Things have happened to startups. So you can host it somewhere else. Now, for this, you might want to choose one of various options. Let me just show you one, right? One option that you can choose is perhaps, let's try Netlify. Okay, the two most common ones I hear people use are Vercel and Netlify. So Vercel.com and Netlify.com. Both of these are cloud providers, and they essentially provide hosting for you. So you can just sign up for an account. So for me, I'm going to log in. Let me just skip past the login. Okay, so here I am. I've managed to log in. I actually logged in using GitHub. So I didn't show that part, but when you click on sign up or login, you can actually use your GitHub account to log in. Okay, so if I wanted to deploy this project, okay, this StoutSpeak project, if I use GitHub login, then it's already linked to my GitHub account. I can click on Add New Project, and I can say Import an existing project. I can deploy it with GitHub. These are other options instead of GitHub, so you can click on this. What this does, of course, it tries to check that you are linked to your GitHub account, and it is. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find my StoutSpeak, which is just search, because I have a lot of these projects over the years. Oh, there you go. Click on that, StoutSpeak. Okay. And from here, right, I believe that's almost it, right? So you have to give a project name that has no spaces, right? Demo Lovable project. So IMDA VIBE. This shouldn't be taken. You can see all these, like this is what your URL will be. You might even have seen people use URLs like this out in the real world, right? I think there's some kopitiam ordering system which uses a Vercel app. Okay, so branch to deploy should be just main, all right? So this one by right, this is actually correct. And then this is environment variables. These are the secrets that we might have mentioned in class. Okay, so for this, you're actually going to go back to here, go to cloud over here. And what you want to do is you actually want to go and grab the settings from over there, right? Under here, secrets, right? I'm not going to show you all these on screen right now. We shouldn't put them on screen in the recording. Copy and paste the values, right, back into the settings. So for example, let's say it's an Open Router API key. Notice that you can't actually access these, so you actually need the original versions of them. Okay, so I'm just going to say Open Router API key, add environment variables, right? So Open Router API key, put in the value. So for me, I'm just going to paste in the value real quick. Okay, and I'm just going to click on deploy. Okay, oh, I haven't filled in the branch to deploy. Okay, I think I might need to make my repository public in order for this to work. So let me just skip over that part. Okay, so I've made it public in my GitHub settings for this project. Let's go try again. I'm again going to skip over that part to make sure that it works properly. Okay, and we're back. So I've made it public. I believe Netlify and or Vercel will charge you in order to deploy private repositories. The reason for that is that it's more likely to be a business project when it's private, whereas if it's your hobby project, they figure that if it's free, you can make it public. Okay, so you can see over here, branch to deploy main. The rest of these, I don't think you need to do anything. It will kind of figure everything out. I'm going to paste in my environment variables one more time. So I'm just going to add key value pair and do that off screen. Okay, and I'm just going to click on deploy StoutSpeak demo. I've changed the name to make it a little bit easier. When you're back here, what's happening is that it's actually got a project. It's essentially taking your code from GitHub and putting it on their cloud server and just making it available online. So at some point, this thing will be done. And there you go, it's published, right? And when it's published, you can click on this and you're going to have your Lovable app online. Okay, so that's pretty nice. You can say hello. Right, a few things to keep in mind. If you're using our Open Router API key, it was valid for 7 days if you remember us setting that up in class. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But other than that, you can always sign up for your own key and set it up again. And you can always ask Lovable to make some changes for you. Okay, or there are other agents out there that can actually work with your GitHub code. So there's one more thing you need to worry about, which is that there is still one more dependency on Lovable, which is the Lovable Cloud. Okay, so over here, you're going to see Lovable Cloud. Remember that in order to use Open Router, you need to have a backend, and Netlify is really just a front end. Okay, so in order to move yourself off Lovable Cloud, you might need to go set up another account, and that is on something called Supabase. This was mentioned in class very briefly, but Supabase is essentially the host for Lovable Cloud. And it's a service which will store databases for you and have a backend for you and a whole bunch of things. What you can do is you can set up your own project and you can actually get Lovable to move you off of the Lovable Cloud and onto Supabase. So let me just show you how you might do that manually. Okay, so over here, inside your GitHub repository, there is an environment file. If you click on it, you're going to see your Supabase project ID and a publishable key, as well as a URL. These are the Supabase project settings that Lovable uses. If you sign up for your own account, it's going to give you new versions of these that you can plug into this file. So if you want, you can just go to GitHub, press the edit button, and you can just make changes. And instead of saving, it's called committing the change. Okay. And once you commit the change, the nice thing is that Netlify or Vercel, if you use it, will actually do a new deploy for you. So this also means that every time you make a change back in Lovable and you save it, it will sync to GitHub, and GitHub will actually alert Netlify, or Netlify will pick up the change and it will sync over, and this version should be updated as well. So that's 3 new things you might need to sign up for if you really want to completely move off of Lovable. One is GitHub. One is either Netlify or Vercel. There might be others out there. I use something called Cloudflare as well. And the last one is probably Supabase, which is getting your own Supabase account instead of using the one provided by Lovable. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to help out. You can reach out to me using the email address that's on the Padlet, or you can just get in touch with the organizers and they can put you in touch with me. All right. Thanks so much. Take care.